Welcome to our video on 4 essentials needed to develop a successful building project. If you're a church that is planning to build new buildings, renovate your existing buildings, or relocate to another property, or perhaps to create a multi-site ministry, then these 4-part videos on the 4 essentials needed to have a successful building project, they're really for you. Now, this information is just the tip of the iceberg, and in this video we're going to talk about step 3. What is the 3rd essential that you need to develop in your planning to have a great building project that finishes strong? And it would be the need to develop a cash procedure. There's a general rule that I like to encourage pastors and ministry leaders to follow, and that is proper preparation has its place, and planning and design and develop processes, they prevent something, and that's poor performance, but they also permit prosperity. If you want your church to prosper, when you lead them into a building program, then you need to prepare and plan well and design good processes for the building project so that you don't perform poorly and so you have the opportunity to succeed. There are 4 key practices that we teach and train ministry leaders to develop when it comes to your cash procedures. That means keeping track of the money. And so here is the first one, and that simply is to develop your budget. What I mean by that is to give every dollar you plan to spend a name and a place. That's the first key practice, is to develop a thorough budget where you know where the money is going to go. Assign every dollar a name and a place. Number 2, the second key practice is to decide who will be authorized to spend each dollar. Assign every dollar a person, a purpose, and a plan. You don't want to have 2 people going out to buy something for your ministry. Let's say it was the audiovisual lighting committee that was overseeing that for your new worship space, and then you've got the children's director going to buy cribs, and they're trying to use the same dollar. So you want to make certain you develop your budget, so you assign every dollar a name and place, and then assign a person to spend every dollar on what purpose and a part of the plan. The 3rd key practice is to track your expenditures. Make use of available software to help you track every dollar. You keep up with it. It's one thing to develop it and decide who's going to spend, but if you don't track it and provide accountability for how you're performing, you're probably going to get into trouble. So you need to track your expenditures. Make use of available software to help you track each dollar. Here's what that means. That means that audiovisual lighting committee member or subcommittee who is working to put together that package for your worship space, they ought to be able to call you at any moment and talk to your financial director and say, how much money do I have left in my account for this part of the project? And that financial director be able to say, well, you've got $2 left, or you've spent 2 of the 5, and you have $2 left to spend. And let me remind you, here's the purpose and the plan. You've got X, Y, and Z yet to buy yet, and we figured that it was going to cost this, so you've really got to do some shopping. Track your expenditures. Don't just assign it and let them go, let them loose. Keep up with it. The number 4 key practice when you're developing your cash procedure is to develop your communication process. I just somewhat covered that by making certain everyone knows who is doing what and when. Simply make sure the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. A good way to get in trouble is not to communicate. So you have software to help you keep up with every expenditure, every dime, lets you assign a person to spend every dollar, and you have tools that will let you communicate as never before to help you keep and orchestrate everyone together and all the moving persons and parts and purposes and procedures that you set up. The tools are there to help you do that today. You've just got to select which ones you want to use. So make sure everybody knows the next steps with your money. It's not only important to know what you're doing at this point in time in the project, what's coming next? What money do you have left to spend, and what yet do you have to purchase? So make sure everyone knows the next steps with your money. It is better for leaders to over-communicate, or what they think is over-communicate. Because just when you think you have bored people sick, or they're sick and tired of hearing you say it, you over-communicate. Because people aren't getting it the first, second, third, and fourth time. It takes them a little while beyond that to catch what you're saying. So, you need to prepare well if you're going to succeed, and that means that you must perform due diligence on the front end of your project to develop a clear and concise cash procedure. You want to manage the money, decide what tools you're going to need, what software you're going to need, what people you're going to need, develop that budget, assign a person and every dollar to a person and exactly what each purpose and what part of the plan it is. So step 3 in the 4 essentials, develop a cash procedure for your project. Just that simple. And by the way, Pastor, don't plan to do this yourself. Give it to someone else who is gifted and passionate about keeping up with this and has the talent and the resources and the time to make it happen. Well, I'm Marshall Shannon, ministry design coach and a pre-construction navigator, serving churches all over the country. This is our online training. If you want to learn more, what I'm giving you is just the tip of the iceberg. Go to Ministry Design Training and subscribe. The first 60 days, money back guaranteed, so you lose nothing for what you're risking. Ministry Design Concepts is full of free resources to help you personally develop others, and to lead in your church, build your leaders. It's just full of great help that's free of charge. It's right there for you. And so if you need to talk, you can reach us at the office here or on my cell most any time. Well, thank you for listening. I trust the Lord to give you a successful project as you move your ministry forward, but that you'll plan well so that you can succeed.